A common stumbling block for many alpha developers is understanding what can be set in the container height property. So oftentimes there's an inclination to set the container height to 100% so that you completely fill, say, the panel card that contains the container. But as you can see in the help over here, the you specifically cannot use a percentage dimension for the height. You can use percentage dimensions for the width, but not the height. So let's take, for example, this alignment container over here, where we've got a button inside the alignment container, and we basically said that the alignment should be horizontally in the center and vertically in the middle. So without setting a container height property, this isn't going to work because the component isn't going to know the height of the panel card, or of the container, sorry, within which the button should be aligned. So now you can see that there's even though you can't use 100%, you can't use percentages, you can now use a new pseudo variable called screen.height to set the height of a container, and that'll set the height to the available screen height automatically. So for example, right now, if I were to save this component, since I have specified a vertical alignment but not specified a height, Alpha is going to automatically go ahead and assign a let's just go and run that now. So when we run it now, we see that basically the button is always vertically centered, regardless of the size of the container. And if we go back into design mode, we'll see that Alpha has automatically put screen.height in as the height of the container. So basically alignment containers that use a vertical alignment of middle are now going to automatically have their container height set to screen height. But you can use screen height in other situations as well. So for example, let's take a look over here at the panel card over here that contains a container and an alignment container, and inside this panel card we have a container over here, and on this container we've gone ahead and we've set the screen height to be the container height, sorry, to be screen height divided by 2. So this list has been set to fill the container, and this container has been set to half of the screen height. Then we have a button, and this button is inside an alignment container that we've specified both horizontal and vertical centering, and we specified that the height of this container is 1/3 of the screen height. So let's go ahead now and run this. So we can see now that basically there's the list taking up a half of the screen height. There's the button taking up 1/3 of the screen height and being centered both horizontally and vertically. So let's go now and change this into a much bigger screen size. So we can see again that the list is taking up half of the screen size, and the button is inside a container that uses 1/3 of the screen size. Now in this particular case, the list itself does need to be refreshed after the container is resized. So you can see that we've gone to the panel card event over here, and in the panel card event we've gone to the on size event, and we've said that basically get a pointer to the list and then call the list's refresh method. But we put that in a try catch block because the panel resize fires before the dialog.object has actually been initialized, and we also basically put it in a set timeout of 100 milliseconds to make sure that the panel has completely resized before we refresh the list. Thanks very much for watching.